Hello everybody, welcome into my latest live feed. Today is Saturday and it's an early start today, 9:30 in the morning, maybe a new record for me, but never too early for a Coke. Welcome in everybody. Can everybody see and hear me okay? I hope that everything is in sync. It must be a long build if I'm starting this early. That's what Russell says. No, it's actually a pretty straightforward build, but I have lots and lots of things to get done, and this is just one more thing I need to do to get caught up with all of my backlog, and I'm already getting other requests from people asking for help with their computers, so got to keep up. Sync is good, audio is good, wonderful. I like it when everything works like it's supposed to. All right, so today's build, what should I tell you about today's build? This gentleman is a trader. That didn't sound right. Not like Benedict Arnold, not a traitor. He is a trader. He trades on the stock market. He is a stock market trader. Yeah, that's what he does. So these folks that do this sort of thing, if you're not familiar with it, what they need is they need a computer that can handle multiple monitors, lots and lots of windows open at the same time, browser windows, monitoring the stock market constantly across these different monitors. And for that, they need fast hard drive. They don't need a lot of space, but they need a fast hard drive. They need a video card that can support multiple monitors. They need a lot of RAM so that when they open all these windows up, there's no delays going from one window to the other, because you can literally lose money if you don't click it exactly at the right time. So no stress there, but this computer will be used hopefully to make money and not lose it. But if you want to talk about a game to play, that's a fun game. Oh yeah, that's like Vegas, baby, all day long. Buying and selling stocks, funds, hedge funds, mutual funds. It's an incredible rush. It's very addictive. And people who are good at it, well, they can make a lot of money. So, welcome in everybody. We've got about 352 people watching, and before I get started, I wanted to try something here. I've got a fan. I have this fan right here. If you recall, back on the NZXT Nuka-Cola build, I had a bad fan. And what it was doing when it was plugged in is it wouldn't spin on its own, but if I gave it a little push, then it started to spin. Let me see if I can hook something up here while we're waiting for some folks to come in. We'll do this fun little take it apart and see what makes it work, or maybe even fix it. You know, could be crazier things that happened. Crazier things have happened. So let me grab, let's see, how am I going to do this? I need a power supply. I need a fan adapter. Have one. No, that's not gonna work. All right, you know what? This will be a lot easier. It just occurs to me, this will be a lot easier for me once I have a motherboard to plug the fan onto the fan header. And so don't let me forget, we're gonna come back to this once we have the motherboard installed in here and this is all up and running. We're gonna take this fan apart. We're gonna try and figure out if we can determine why this fan doesn't start on its own, because it's loose. It's not bound up. It's a brand new fan. Now, I will tell you, on a Corsair case, we opened up the Corsair fan, and inside was a very small rubber washer that did not belong in there, or an O-ring. And once that, you see, that O-ring was jammed in sideways. And once we took that O-ring out, the fan ran fine. And I'm wondering if the same factory makes these fans and if there may be another O-ring in there, or if maybe it's a startup capacitor that's bad. I don't know. So don't let me forget, because I do need to powered on, and I want to show you what it's doing now. I could just open it up now and fix it, but then how would you ever really know it was ever broken to begin with if I fixed it? And how would I test it afterwards? So we'll come back to that. I didn't think it all the way through. So don't let me forget. We've got a couple of contributions that have come in today, so let's give everybody shouts out who has been generous enough to support the channel. Joseph Panariello kicked us off with our first contribution at 7 p.m. He gave us, let's see, $2. Tony Wello is at $1.99. Strandberg Tomas, 20 Swedish kroner. Scott Helenen has contributed 10 New Zealand dollar, and he said, here's some money for the channel and for a Coke for the world's best professional PC builder. Flattery will get you everywhere. Thank you, Scott. Mark Stevens has contributed $2. Varujan Kalustin has contributed $1. Donnie Seeger has contributed $2 and wants to know what's up. John Yasuda continues his generosity, $10 today. Again, money for Coke and pizza today. John, how is that new computer? John just got his new computer yesterday. That was that big Corsair 750D. That's John's computer. And John was really wanting it bad because his other system died and he was on an old system. He's like, Carey, is that computer done? Carey, is that computer done? Carey, is that computer done? I hope it was worth the wait. I really do. And I hope it'll last you longer than any computer you've ever had, because John's had some bad luck with computers lately. Steve Devine has contributed $2. He says, thank you, Carey, for all you do. Hey, thanks, you guys. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Nelson Contreras says, Carey, I donated $10 through PayPal. Thank you, Nelson. I don't see those PayPal contributions until later. John JP says, I'm a fan of yours, and sometimes I need a little push to get going too. Can you still get 200R cases? Yes, you can still get 200R cases. There's all the parts for the system we're going to build today are listed in the video notes below this video with Amazon links. And if you use those Amazon links to take you to Amazon, you'll see each part is available to purchase today, April 13th, 2019. I don't know what their inventory is going to be like later, but today they are available. I also make a small commission off any Amazon purchase that you make from my link that takes you there. So if my link in the video notes takes you to Amazon, and while you're there at Amazon, you decide, I don't want to buy that, but I want to buy something else, and you search in Amazon for the thing you want to buy, I still get a small little commission for that. And it doesn't cost you any more money. And it's a great way to show your support for the channel where, look, you're buying from Amazon anyway. This is only for Amazon US at this time. I will reach out and expand to perhaps Amazon Canada and UK and maybe even France. I'm not sure if there's got to be enough people to make it worthwhile. Otherwise, it's just administrative work for no money. It doesn't make any sense, right? So for now, just so you know, all the parts lists are in the links below this video. And any purchase you make from Amazon, from any of my links, even if it's not the thing I'm linking to, but if my link took you to Amazon and you make any purchase, I get a small commission from that. And I want to emphasize it doesn't cost you anything any differently. So you could like bookmark one of my, go to Amazon from one of my links and bookmark it and make that the place you go when you shop at Amazon. It helps out the channel. So just so you guys know, just so you know. HVAC A to Z has contributed $5. Thank you very much. Hello to Ben Laird and Heavy Sonic Jeffrey and OG Gaming. Hello to David Griswold. He's contributed $2. He says, thanks for all you do, Carey. Richard Golcher. Richard, we're going to have to talk till I figure out how to pronounce your last name. Goiter has contributed £2. He says, great videos, Carey. Keep them coming. Hello to William Lynn and Randy Ruff, Vern Mahoney, Mike Gunnels Ministries, and Zadrako Frenchovic. John Wilson, always good to see you, John. $20, good to see you on a Saturday. Maybe he PayPal'd that. John's contributions are starting to make me feel just a little uncomfortable. He's a super, super generous guy, and I appreciate it very, very much. Paul Stratford, hello. Steve B, hello to Paul Hogston and Roberta Cloud and Nelson Contreras, Jim Maloney, Edward Trickett, Richard. I just came across his name again, Richard. Now I felt like I have to say Geicher. Peter Tarantillo. I'm going to try Peter's name again. Jimmy. Peter Tarantino. Edward Trickett. Peter Dunstall. Welcome in, guys. Paul Carroll. Scott Hallinan. Shrinks Dave. Patrick Rousseau. Rick Hubbard. Jean Tem Solo. Randy Harris. David M. Jens Carlson. Dimitri. Tony Otteson. Tony Wallow. Darren Belmore. Steve M. Sergio Cochai. Mark Baggett. Tweaks. Paul Wright. Jan Giddings. Ben DeCour. Gary Whitaker. John Feinor. Thomas Beckenstowe. Dave Stetzel. David Tracy. Zatoon Elaine. Welcome in. Let's make Zatoon a moderator. Okay. Sorry if I didn't get to your names, but thank you guys so much for showing up today. And let me just check my front door to see what the dog was barking about. I suspect a neighborhood cat. I'm kind of a neighborhood cat. Oh. Oh. Speaking of John Yasuda. Oh, this is a big box. John, I guess you didn't need a signature on this one, huh? That's funny. So John got to see me build his computer live, and now I'm receiving his old computer. He knows exactly when it arrived. That's funny. Oh my gosh. What did you send me, John? Are these bricks? Oh my gosh. Ugh. Oh, come on. There we go. Whew. Oh man, it's too early in the morning for that much work. Holy smokes. All right. Whew. Okay. Whew. Wow. Jens Carlson says, you say my name perfect. Well, I'm glad I'm getting somebody's name right. Oh, I need a break. Whew, that's a heavy box. I know John's in that chat room somewhere. Where are you, John? Trying to find him. He's probably stepped away or something. So John has an X299 system that died on him, and he bought it and built it after his X99 system died on him. John has not had good luck. But John, that computer I sent you, that should last you a very long time and be completely trouble-free. He's in there. I mean, John is in there, so I'm not sure. Where he went. Okay. It's time for the gym. Yeah, it really is time for the gym, but I don't have time for the gym. All right. So we're going to build a system for a trader. He's not a day trader. He's a normal stock exchange trader. And his original parts list was AMD stuff. And I said, look, man, there's nothing wrong with the AMD CPUs, but their chipsets, I wouldn't do it on a stock machine. If you're playing games on it and stuff like that, it's fine. But if you really want it to run quiet and cool and reliable with a good chipset that's going to give you the best performance, it is my opinion to stick with an Intel socket 1151. Do not go to the X299. If you want something reliable, and this is why it gets a little disconcerting when people say I'm an AMD, I'm anti-AMD or I'm an Intel fanboy. I'm all about picking the right parts for the customer and their budget, and their needs, their expectations. And some occasions I'll choose AMDs. You've seen me build AMDs here before, but I will, unless the customer actually does need an X299 or does need a Threadripper, I pretty much will try and talk him out of it. And in this case, I talked him out of his original parts list, and there's almost nothing on this parts list we've got now that matches what he sent me. But it's always good, when somebody sends me, like if somebody takes the time to go, hey, these are the parts I was thinking of getting, it helps me to understand where their mindset is. Like what kind of case did they pick, and how much memory are they putting in there? What are you using this for, and how much is your budget? Because I think I can get you better for around the same amount of money, maybe just a little bit more, but we can get you a lot better for a little bit more. And so that's what I did here. Remember, the difference is I have to support the computer when I build it. So, you guys can build whatever you want to build. I don't have to support it. But if I build an X299 system, every time that thing breaks, I'm going to get the phone call. And when these systems are being shipped hundreds or thousands of miles away, it makes what I can do to help people quite limiting. Heinrich Anderson has contributed 100 Swedish krona. Thank you, Heinrich. Heinrich. Thank you. We'll just call you Henry. And let's make Henry moderator. John says it's another 750D. Well, of course it is, John. Of course it's a 750D. But what I'm concerned about is if you loaded it with bricks, did you just pour cement in the box to make sure was that your packing material? What did that box weigh? It's got to be 60 pounds. Holy smokes. Maybe 80 pounds. Is this all this guy does is complain? Yeah, pretty much. Why are you complaining about it? That's hypocritical. All right, so what are we building today? Well, we've got a Z370 XP SLI board from Gigabyte. I think this is a great board. It's not flashy. We're not interested in RGB or case windows or liquid cooling. What we want is something reliable, something fast, something silent but deadly. We're dealing with the stock market, and we need to be able to respond immediately to stock prices as they happen. During Wall Street hours, obviously. It's critical. There's a lot of people doing it. And sometimes you just got to be there first, So for that, we're going to do the i7 8700K, not the 9700K. The 8086K went up in price. It's now considered a collector's item and sells for nearly $600. It's not worth that. No. The 9700K, it does tend to run a bit warm. And because of that, and the slight difference in performance between the 8700 and the 9700, it's my recommendation we stay one generation back just because it's more mature and will be less likely to experience any new issues that require BIOS updates and things like that. So for the boot and only drive, we've got a Samsung 970 Pro. This thing is fast. It's 512 gigs. And we're going to pair that with 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance memory. We're not looking to save money on the cheapest memory. We want something that we really know we can count on. This has the heat spreaders on it. This, again, is not the cheapest memory you can buy. It's also not the most expensive memory you can buy. It's a few dollars more than the other lesser known brands, but I feel very confident that this memory will last 10 years easy, no problems, statistically speaking. This gentleman also wants a DVD reader writer, so we've got one of those right here. These are 20 bucks all day long, 22 bucks from Asus. He needs a graphics card. Onboard video isn't going to cut it for the number of monitors that he wants to use. He'll probably move up to 4 monitors. He's using 2 now. So this card is a bit overkill for him. But remember, he's just going to be having lots and lots of browser windows open and stock utilities, stock buying utilities, buying and selling. So this is a $300 GeForce GTX 1060. These are 300 bucks all day long. This card is pretty small too. It's only about half the size of the box. So I'm not going to worry about the card breaking off in shipping. This is going all the way to New York, which is, well, from the Pacific Ocean, you know, which isn't too far behind me, to the Atlantic Ocean, which is right to the opposite side of the United States. I'm not worried that this card's going to break free in shipping. It's not very heavy, and this one is the 6 gig version. There's a 3 gig version and a 6 gig version. And this is the super clocked edition. I think it's got the ACX cooler. Should be nice and quiet and perform very well. Now, he doesn't play games. This card, where is it? No, I guess that's right. This card is way more than this customer needs. I want to emphasize, way more than he needs today. I don't know what he's going to need next year, but hopefully this will do him well. We've got to keep that CPU cool, and you know what I'm going to use, don't you? The Scythe Mugen 5, or Mugen, Scythe Mugen 5, Revision B. See the little B down there? You guys know how much I love this cooler. And I'm trying to work out a deal with Scythe. I really want them to sponsor this channel. I love this cooler. I've liked everything that they make that I've tested so far, but I love this cooler. So those are the kind of sponsors I want. And they're saying, all right, what's your offer? And I'm like, I don't know. So I have to get back to them, but I have work to do in the meantime. The next build coming up after this, I think I use the same motherboard, the same processor, and the same cooler, and the same case. It's going to be slightly different. This guy has to have a reliable machine. He has got to make sure that this thing is reliable. The machine goes down, he could potentially lose a lot of money. So we're not messing around. We're spending the extra money for the Seasonic. This has a 7-year warranty. Now, you could have gone with the EVGA. I think it matches this in every way, shape, and form. Seasonic has a reputation. They're very well known for their reliability. They're also well known for their expensive prices, but lately their prices have become much more reasonable, so I've started to recommend them again. And yeah, 7-year warranty, 80 plus efficiency, gold rated, right? Is that gold? Yeah, it's gold. And it's semi-modular, which means that the motherboard power cables are built into the PSU, and then all the other cables are in a bag that you use what you need, and that keeps your cabling nice and clean. So that'll be our power supply. So I guess I'll prep the case. So to prep the case, I need the power supply. I need the optical drive. And I'm going to need the I/O shield out of the motherboard box. Unless this has an I/O shield built onto it. Let's find out. By the way, guys, I don't know how many kids are watching, but I'm going to do an old man thing right now. When I was your age, I was watching cartoons on Saturday morning. That's the only time you could watch them. They only aired the cartoons on Saturday morning. So, you got up early, you got your bowl of cereal, you have your mom make you a bowl of cereal and pour some milk in it, and you watched Bugs Bunny, The Roadrunner, Foghorn Leghorn, Pepe Le Pew. What else did we watch? Marvin the Martian. He's one of my favorites. It's good times. But man, if I could have watched PC builds as a kid, I don't know. I wonder if I would have. See, I missed a couple contributions. Let me give these folks a shout out. David Penny has contributed 20 Australian dollars. He says, I'm still adding towards your fridge or your Coke supply. People are scaring me about the refrigerator I was talking about yesterday. I have this, I'm just looking at this beautiful Samsung. Oh my God, it's beautiful. You want to see it? I'll show you and see if you agree with me. Let's see if you and I share taste in refrigerators. How am I going to do this? Let's go to screen sharing, screen share. Where is it? Video capture? No, I guess I have to make a new video source. Video capture, no. Window capture never works for me. Display capture. Okay, here we go. It's gonna do some video looping here. Hold on. Let me minimize. Let's get that down. Let's get that down. Oh yeah, it was over here. Okay, so let's take a look at Lowe's. Oh, what do you know? There's always a sale. What were the odds of that? Let's look for refrigerators. Okay, let's look for appliances. I guess I need to back up. Kitchen cabinets. Yeah, I need those too. One thing at a time. Appliances, refrigerators. And let's look at French door refrigerators made by Samsung, priced between $2,000 and $3,000. That should pretty much limit us down. Now, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why in the world would you want Android on your refrigerator? What are you doing, dear? I'm playing Candy Crush. On the refrigerator? The lady at the store says, well, you can have it look at who's at your front door. So instead of walking to my front door, I have to walk to my refrigerator? Why wouldn't I just have it look at it with my phone? Since it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. No, no, no. Stupid. What's wrong with people? I think this is it right here. So you see there's two, they look identical. This is called a counter depth refrigerator. They're not as deep. So therefore, the cubic feet is going to be smaller. So I don't want counter depth. Those are for those real fancy kitchens and really expensive homes. I don't want that. I want a regular, and look at this bad boy. Look at it. Oh, I just love this refrigerator. Take a look at this. All right, let's get to the refrigerator already. That's not really helping me. All right, forget that. Look at that. I don't really care for this part. I wish it was, I don't know, different kind of buttons, but it's kind of like what my refrigerator has now. And then you'll see the freezer part is two separate sections. There's a right side with drawers and shelves, and then the left side, but it's divided. Whereas the top of it, you see how that bottom is divided? But the top, when you open the top, it's one big thing. There's no divider. So that's, if you were wondering what people were talking about, that's what we're talking about. Oh, I guess I didn't. Did that work right? I don't think it worked right. It was supposed to be like this. Hold on, let me go back and show you again. So that's, yeah, that's the refrigerator that I'm drooling over. And that kitchen and that house with the wood, yeah, I'll take that. Still don't understand what this video is supposed to be, because it just looks like a generic refrigerator. Oh, it's telling you how to install a refrigerator. Yeah, you slide it in, you plug it in, you hook up your water line. It's really difficult. Fingerprint resistant. That's really important. Not. Anyway, it's on sale. Look, it's on sale. That's a lot of money. But on the other hand, that's a lot more. Anyway, that's what we were talking about. Sorry about that from before. Let me turn off the display capture. There we go. So you got me off topic. But thank you for the contribution, David. Can you make a call on the fridge? Yeah, I imagine you probably could do a Skype call or something. Does it have a Coke dispenser? If it had a Coke dispenser, it would be here already. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be, can I afford it? Should I do it? No, there wouldn't be any thinking. It would just install now, take my money. No, I don't need you guys to buy me a refrigerator, please. That is not what I'm doing. If anybody interpreted this as, hey, donate to the refrigerator cause, please don't. Please don't. I can get my own refrigerator, and I appreciate your kindness, but let's donate or contribute to the channel, you know, so I can give away more computers and help more people and give back to the community. This isn't really about how nice of a refrigerator I can buy. I don't want you to interpret that. And look, a lot of people are going to watch this video and they're going to interpret that, and I want to be very careful of that. Yeah, you could watch movies on the refrigerator. So anyway, that refrigerator with the built-in Android screen is $1,000 more and has smaller capacity. Or wait a minute, I guess they probably make that either way with counter depth or regular depth. So forget I said that, but it's a lot more money, and it's the dumbest thing. A friend of mine bought a couch, and it's an electric recliner. Now, I don't know how hard it is to pull the little handle, or my couch, it's kind of in between the cushions, you pull a cord, and it reclines and you can lean back. I don't want to sit in an electric chair, okay? I don't know why you would want to sit on something that plugs into the wall. When somebody tells me their couch plugs into the wall, I know we've gone too far. That is too far. It is not that hard to recline a couch. It's really easy. And a friend of mine who has that, sometimes if you sit a little bit, you know, if you're a big person or you sit a little sideways, your hip can push the button and it starts reclining, and you're like, what's going on? I don't know what's happening right now. And it can pinch somebody into a situation, and they're stuck until somebody can show them how to use the couch. I'm all about technology. I love technology when technology serves a purpose, but when it's just tech for the sake of tech, count me out. I have no interest in that. Like, if the power went out in my house, then all the running motors, the refrigerator, the air conditioner, all that quiets down. The whole house becomes quiet. And I would enjoy that peace and quiet and like to lay back on my couch. Power's out, I'm just gonna lay back on my couch. Oh, I can't lay back on my couch because the power's out. People are so used to things being powered. I was at a big, you know, like a Home Depot type store, big home improvement store, warehouse type store. And all the power went out in the middle of summertime. So all the lights went out, air conditioners went off. And the employees asked the customers to please leave the store because they had no way of monitoring if anybody was stealing anything, right? And as people were filing out the door, this woman stopped and was digging through her purse, and she was going to put some coins into the vending machine to get a cold drink out of the vending machine. I don't normally talk to people I don't know, but I said, I'm pretty sure that machine's going to take your money, but it's not going to give you anything because there's no power. And this poor woman, she had this look of, What was I thinking? She was a little embarrassed. But at least it's better than losing $1.25 in a machine, in my opinion. But it just struck me as funny that it never occurred to her that that machine runs off the same power as the rest of the building. And I understand it's hot. The air conditioners went off. You want a cold drink. Totally get it. But not from an electric vending machine. Yeah. Don't buy Samsung. They are known for leaks. But it's so pretty, and LG doesn't have one like it. Because I want LG or Samsung. My stove back there is LG. My washer and dryer are also LG. So maybe I'll look at LG, but LG doesn't have anything that pretty. I could get a refrigerator like I have now in an LG model. But looking at the reviews, people seem overall happy. There's always going to be, look, if the thing had no negative reviews, I'd be very suspicious. But the negative reviews I'm seeing, I think somebody just got a bad unit. So the people that are saying Samsung does not make good appliances, what brand would you buy? You're only going to buy maybe 6 refrigerators in your life, you know, in theory. So far in my life, I've had since I've been on my own, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've had 4. So I should have maybe 2 or 3 more refrigerators left in my life if I do it right. I mean, obviously, if every Samsung refrigerator had leaks, they wouldn't be making them. It would cost more money in warranty work. That's just not a sustainable business model. That's not to say somebody didn't have one that leaked or that multiple people had them that leaked, but I would find it very difficult to believe that that's common. It's hard for me to believe. William says, a Samsung my friend has, the same model, works fine for 3 years. That's good. So he's like, Maytag. Yeah, but since the situation with Sears selling off Maytag, I don't trust it anymore. I've had a bad experience with Whirlpool and Frigidaire, and I won't buy them again. Although I did buy this KitchenAid dishwasher, and it's the best dishwasher I've ever owned. And I found out that KitchenAid is the high end of Whirlpool. But Frigidaire, I will never, ever buy Frigidaire again. I've never had anything good by them. That's my personal experience. Yeah, my personal experience also is I don't like Kenmore. I don't like anything to do with Sears. If you want quality, Victor says, go commercial. Well, the problem with commercial tends to be size. Like I would love to have a 36-inch commercial stove, you know, like a Viking or a Thermador. The problem is I don't have any proper venting. And it would probably kill me from the gas fumes. In fact, it's illegal to install it. That vent that's back behind me, that's just a recirculating vent. There's no, you can see above the counters, there's no pipe going out. There's no exhaust. So because of that, I have to stay with a 30-inch stove. Zatain Allen has contributed $20 via PayPal. Thank you, Zaton. Zaton Alain. I think I said it right. I have the freezer drawer model. Yeah, see, I can't have a freezer drawer because of this counter. The freezer drawer would back right into the counter, and then you would be stuck. You might not even be able to get the drawer open all the way, or if you would, nobody can walk by. It would be hard to like load groceries into it. And I don't like all my frozen food stacked where if I don't see it, I'm not going to eat it. Okay. So everything on top will get eaten, and then everything down below will sit in there for a year before I realize it's there, and it'll all be freezer burned and have to be thrown away. So the idea of these drawer freezers that you pull out, it doesn't work for me for those 2 reasons. 1, because it's going to bump up against the counter, and 2, I don't want to go digging around because I have no memory of what I bought. I have to go back and look. And I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this. So if it's on a shelf, you know, I'll see it and I'll eat it. Maybe. Make my own refrigerator. Yeah. I can put it into a Corsair 26 cubic foot case with RGB and a window and liquid cooling. You people are crazy. I see Jason's joining us. I got an idea, Jason. You and I are going to have to talk. I have an idea I think you might like. You might not. I own KitchenAid and Bosch appliances. Well, the problem with Bosch is I believe they're German, and parts are very expensive and hard to find. Lourdes Evans has contributed $2. Thank you, Lourdes. LG, Samsung, and Fisher and Paycal are the top selling fridges we sell and deliver. Oh, you sell fridges? I just, I've had really good value on Samsung and LG products. They've been good. And you know what? GE was a great appliance maker. I loved all my GE appliances right up until I spent the most amount of money I ever spent on a refrigerator because I had the confidence from experience that they make good stuff. And that's when they stopped making good stuff. Right when I bought it. This was like the first refrigerator I've ever bought that I regretted buying. And so I'm done with GE. I'm just done. Sub-Zero? Yeah, Sub-Zero is expensive. I don't need anything fancy. I just want something big. Let me get back to work, huh? All right, let's get the case prepped. This Milwaukee driver that I purchased, this screwdriver, I charged the battery, and it's been on that same charge ever since, just so you guys know, in case you want to keep score of how long the battery lasts. And pretty much when I use it, I'm using it on camera, and it's gone down a little bit on the battery charge. Oh, it's gone down quite a bit. I'm down to 2 lights now, but I don't know. Has it been a month yet? Selfridges. Yeah, when I go to London, I want to go to Selfridges. That's an American guy who started a store. By the way, it's an interesting documentary. When Selfridges opened in Britain, you weren't really allowed to browse. You came to a store to buy something, and things were behind counters, and so you had to ask somebody, can I see those gloves? Or I'm looking for a pair of gloves, and you would describe what you're looking for, and the person behind the counter would get it for you. Women were not supposed to be in there without a man. They were to be accompanied because the world is a dangerous place. And you'd have to use some kind of public transportation, some kind of horse and carriage to get you there. You would need somebody to take you. So this guy from the United States, who had experience, I think, working at Macy's. He went to England and he found investors and he created Selfridges. And Selfridges is a really high-end and expensive store. But what he did is he encouraged people to just come in and look around. It was a whole new concept to Britons. And encouraged women that it was a safe place. Stores didn't even have restrooms for women. So he put restrooms for women in his store and encouraged women in advertising to come shopping. And it was a whole new concept, and he started all of that. In fact, he's the one responsible for putting all the makeup and stuff right when you walk in the door. It's boom, it's right in your face. Now everybody does that. He started that. And he lost his company. He had a bad gambling addiction, and his company was taken away from him by investors because he was gonna, he's taking company money. And he was quite the ladies' man. He liked the ladies, and he would gamble and spend money on women, and he used his company as his own personal bank account to pay off his debts and to buy whatever he wanted to buy, and the investors had enough of it. So he died penniless, completely broke and penniless. But Selfridges today remains this very nice high-end shopping experience, similar to a Macy's or a Nordstrom. You can even get Levi's there, custom tailored while you wait. That's insane to me. Custom tailored Levi's? Yes, please. So when I go to London, you betcha I'm going to Selfridges. But you can go to YouTube, here on YouTube, and you can search for the documentary on Selfridges. It is fascinating. And what's interesting is neither the United States or Britain really know the history of this guy. Because as far as the United States is, he's an expatriate. He left. What do we care about him? We don't document him. And as far as Britain was concerned, he's a foreigner. He's not British. So what do we? So there was very little record keeping with regards to the history of this man, and it leads a little bit to the mystery of who he was, and very, very interesting story. Nigel says, I have an Electrolux freezer. It's been running since 1975. Holy smokes. That's a good refrigerator. Electrolux is built in Mexico. Yeah, this GE refrigerator is built in Mexico. You know, when I think of high quality workmanship, underdeveloped nations don't come to mind. But I don't really see Electrolux much here in the United States. This Milwaukee, what did it cost? It cost $119.99. I have a link to it down below in the video notes. It'll say the equipment, everything you see in the video, which means the camera equipment, the tripods, the screwdrivers, the Lazy Susan, all that stuff. There's like over 110 items, I think. It's pretty easy to scroll through. You can find it there. It's called a Milwaukee M like Milwaukee 4, M4. So if you want it with 2 batteries and a charger, it's like $144. But with 1 battery and a charger, it was $119. I think I got it from Northern Tool, now that I think about it. And Northern Tool sells it for the same price on eBay. Northern Tool sells on eBay, but Northern Tool's a big tool company. But I do believe it's available on Amazon from the same price, and that may even be from Northern Tool as well. Yeah, there's even a TV show starring Jeremy Piven playing Selfridge himself. But Jeremy Piven, it's really hard to watch him for me because he just doesn't sell the role. Like I just don't think he's a very good actor. I think I'm a better actor than he is, and I'm not an actor. So nothing personal. I just don't think he's a good actor. But anyway, there's a whole drama on, I think it was on the BBC, that was based on his life. I don't know how much of it is exaggerated or made up for TV, but it went on for quite a few seasons. Can you link your microphone? It's already linked. It's already linked. When you look at this video on YouTube, you will see that there are video notes below the video. And in the video notes, you're going to see, oh, wait a minute. They're not in these video notes. They're supposed to be in my video. I will add that. They're supposed to be in all my video notes, and I was editing these notes earlier so I could get the parts list, and I think I mistakenly have taken it out. But I will add it there. I apologize for that confusion. Selfridges was on ITV and not BBC. Okay, well, it's the same thing. To me, as an American, it's the same thing. Let me see if I can correct this link problem. Let's see. Channel, upload defaults. I see what I did. So many links. A lot of links. I'm going to fix this right now. Okay, I think we're good now. Let me just make sure. There's the optimizer. There's links to my other YouTube channels if you guys want to subscribe to those and check those out. There's information about the upcoming TechCon Unplugged that I'll be attending in Grand Rapids, Michigan, September 20th through the 22nd if you want to come out and meet me. There's a link to follow me on Twitter. There's a link that says, want to know where to buy the things you see in this video? That's where you're going to find everything that this keyboard, the screwdriver, the laser, all of it, the microphone, the cameras, it's all listed in that store, that Amazon link. It's basically amazon.com/shop/Carey Holzman. It's really easy. There's my merchandising store, which again, I never wanted to get into merchandising, but everybody was, wanting it. So that's what we got there. And then there's links, direct links for the Lazy Susan as well, because a lot of people ask about that. And this keyboard and mouse are separate. And yeah, so that's all there now. So you should be able to see it in the video notes now. And I apologize for stating it was in there when it wasn't. My bad. Hi, Carey. I'm watching all the way from Africa, Nairobi, Kenya. Right on, Gideon. Thanks for joining me. If I send you my email, can we chat about small things involved in your computer repair business? James, if you had any idea, with 27 million views on my channel, how many people want to talk to me? All I can tell you is if you want to pay my consultation fee, I'll make time to talk to you. But I have paying customers waiting. In fact, I have more work than I can do, which is why I started so early this morning. I just don't have time to sit around and chat with people. But if you're a customer and you're paying me, I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I just have to treat, I have to take care of all my paying customers first and foremost, and they're not going away. Like every time I finish one, another one appears. But if there ever gets to be a time where business is completely down and there's no customers, perhaps. But even then, I should be busy working on getting more customers. I just don't have time. And it's not fair to people who are paying to make them wait behind somebody who just wants to chat with me, and they're paying money and they're waiting longer. That's just not fair to them. So I hope you understand that. If you had any idea how many times I get that question, and I hate saying no, I do not like saying no, but there's just one of me. So, okay. Carey, is the Milwaukee driver better than the Panasonic? I think it is. I think it is, yes. Oh, that's right. Jeff mentions at the CareyHolzman.com merchandising page, what we decided to do is, in order to bring in money for more of the computer giveaways, that you can spend $50 for a phone call with me, and or a Skype call, whatever we have to do to communicate. And then that $50 goes towards a computer for disabled veterans or somebody disabled on a fixed income, or taking care of others in our community. Because I didn't want to, it didn't feel right to just profit from it, but it also doesn't feel right to do it for free. So that was the thing. And so I only have a limited number of spots every month, and if people want to take advantage of that, that's wonderful, and I thank you very much. Okay. Jason says all I have to do is talk in my sleep and the problem is solved. I already talk in my sleep, and it creates all new problems. Oh, baby, I like it when you do that. Punch. Ow! What was that for? You were talking in your sleep. Oh, no, I wasn't sleeping. No, don't do that. Don't say that. That's a bad idea. That's a little tip from your Uncle Carey. Never say that to your significant other. Don't do that. All right, let's get to work. Ooh, this one's a little stiff. Looks like it got a little warpage in shipping. It doesn't happen very often. But that's okay. That side came off just fine. Let's get all of the screws and materials needed for mounting the hardware, which is in this little box. Let's get that out of there. I want to put the I/O shield in first. Not the fanciest looking I/O shield, pretty basic, but you know, gets the job done, it's fine. Let's get the power supply out. Oh, look, a bag. Great. More documentation. Oh, some zip ties, go faster sticker, power cable, power supply cables. The heck? There's our power supply here. This is the Seasonic. I always got to put plastic over their logo. Hey, everything else can be scratched, just not the Seasonic logo, because that would be unacceptable. This has a little latch to release it right here. These really bother me. I'm never going to reuse. It's intended to be reusable, but they're so difficult. They're just too darn difficult. Just cut that off and use a regular zip tie. Oh, sure. It came right out after I did that. Of course it did. You'll see there's not a whole lot of options back here with regards to power cables. Just 4 cables. So you've got 2 for operating what could probably be like 6 hard drives, optical drives, whatever. And then, oh no, it'd be, so if there's 3, 6, 9, and then this one would be for a graphics card. That's all he's gonna need. It's perfect. And then this is why it's semi-modular, because it's got the motherboard power cable on here, CPU power, and GPU power. So this will support SLI. So we won't even need to use this PCIe one at all on this build. Oh, it looks like I have more plastic on here. Okay. Look how small that power supply is. I like that. I like how the depth of it. It's pretty short. I like that. Okay, there's probably some screws in here. Yep, there is, right here in the bag that came with the power supply. We've got, we got a big go faster sticker. That's when you want to go big. We've got some Velcro cable ties, which I never use, but I'll give them to the customer. Some traditional nylon zip ties. And here's the screws for the power supply. Right here, we got the 4 screws. And we put 1 in each corner.
top one is a little offset from the corner. And then the other top one is a little down. So notice this one doesn't go up here, it goes down here. And this one goes over here instead of over here, because you can't get a screw in there. I went to a customer's once and saw that they put 3 screws right in one corner. I'm like, you watch my videos? He goes, yeah. I go, where'd you get that idea? I never showed anybody to do that. 1 screw in each corner, or as close as you can get to the corner. That puzzled me. Like, I don't know what he was thinking to get him there, but I'm still puzzled by it today. Not making fun of him, I'm just baffled. So let's get the optical drive installed. We just push that out. And we'll slide the optical drive in from the front, and it's going to lock right in. There, it's locked in now. And then in this box, it's going to contain all of the screws that we need for mounting everything else. So we'll just dump that out. We've got some more zip ties, which is good because we are going to need them. Yes, we are. And we'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. And all this stuff, we're just going to move it out of the way. I'll put it back here just to keep it all out of the way. Get the screwdriver out of the way. And all this stuff as well can go back over here. I think I dropped one over this side. Oh, those are the Velcro wire management. We'll just put that over there. And let's move the case, because we're done with case prep. That's all we had to do to prep the case. Now we can prep the motherboard. And what's great is once we prep the motherboard, the system will pretty much be done. Because our main storage goes on the board, RAM and CPU go on the board, and this cooler goes on the board. That's the vast majority of the parts right there. And that's going to look like this. So I guess what we'll do is get the motherboard out of the box. And we'll get rid of this inside box here. Let's get rid of that. There's SATA cables, the G connector, manuals. Go faster sticker. And all of the extra cables and whatnot that you see back here, that's all going to go inside of this box. In the meantime, I'll take this motherboard out of its anti-static bag. I'll touch something metal to get on the same electrical level. A lot of people worried about electrostatic discharge. If you handle the parts with reasonable care and if you handle by the edges, static's really not going to be an issue. These parts on a motherboard are already in a grounded circuit, and they're very difficult to actually successfully static charge. If you wanted to, it'd be hard to do even if you intended it. Now, in the factory, when the parts are raw and they haven't been mounted into the circuit board yet, they're much more susceptible to static discharge. The other thing, or damage to static discharge, I should say. The other thing is you never want to work on anything with an earth ground. An earth ground has nothing to do with being grounded with regards to electrostatic discharge. The ground strap that you see people wear, there's a reason why it doesn't plug in the wall. And if you ever hear any advice from anybody telling you that you need to be plugged into the wall, they might as well be telling you should be drinking poison. These are not electrical engineers. These are people who think they know, and they're very dangerous on the internet because somebody is going to think, well, this guy really sounds like he knows what he's talking about. And somebody's going to get electrocuted one day, if it hasn't happened already. And when you're on an earth ground, it's hard to let go. It's hard to let go of a shock. If you get shocked from power, your muscles contract and you can't open your hand. So as long as that earth ground is there and it's not breaking, you better hope somebody's near you to push you off to get you away. Otherwise, they're going to find you unconscious on the floor, or maybe worse. So I take that very seriously. It's no joke. So this is what our motherboard looks like. Black and white. Sometimes there's plastic on here, but I don't see any. That looks pretty good. And we'll plug that right over here. Let's bring that up, just like that. Okay, let's see if we can move the camera and get you a better angle. Hold on, everybody. We're going to go for a little ride. Here we go. I have to be careful they don't knock anything over. The legs on this tripod are very long, and it's easy to snag a cable. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Yeah. Let's try to find my Coke. A couple of contributions came in. Let me give those folks a shout out. Coffee Mania has contributed $2. It says, greetings from Tucson. Love your videos and thanks. Well, thank you. Geo Johnson's contributed $5. He says, hey, Carey, I'm still waiting for my case badge. The front of my PC build is naked. I have not sent any case badges out in a month. I have been so busy. I have got a lot of envelopes to stuff. I have to find time. I apologize for that delay. I really need to offload that to my sister or something because I've just got too much on my plate. The old man's contributed $10. Hey, thanks, old man. Tony Wallow has contributed $1.99, and of course, thanks to Tony. Sharon Idles contributed £2 and says, here's my contribution to the channel. Thank you, Sharon. Thomas Beckenstowe's contributed $10. He says, keep up the good work. I just love the show, and I've learned so much. Right on. Scott Dunn has contributed £2, and I appreciate all of those contributions. We've got 1,079 people watching around the world right now, and we're about to prep this motherboard. So there's a few options we can start with. We can start with the RAM or the M.2 drive. It really doesn't matter where we want to start. I think, where's my video feed? Here it is. I think I'd like to start with the M.2 drive. Now, we've got two places the M.2 drive can go. It can go here, which is a pretty hot area, right? Because if you got a graphics card here and the CPU here, this can be a pretty hot area. So down here gets us away from the heat where we can use this M.2 socket. But some motherboards, some of them only run PCI Express on one or the other, or it runs at a slower speed. And the only way to know is to look in the manual. So here in the box, if I open up the box and pull the manual out, we can take a look and see what it says. Thomas Carter, thank you for your £2 contribution. Let's take a look at what it says here. So it says for the two RAM modules, we can use either sockets 4 and 3 or 1 and 2. That's fine. Either way will work. And as for the M.2 drive, because that'll be something we'll have to deal with later. The M.2 sockets, M.2 connectors. It says M.2P 32G. I need glasses. Hold on. Let me get my glasses. I'm going to put some tape on them. I'm going to wear my pocket protector. Hey, you guys. You want to play Dungeons and Dragons later? All right, so here's... I shouldn't make fun of myself. I did play Dungeons and Dragons, and I loved it. So which one's which? 32G, 32. So we have M2P and M2Q. Due to the limited number of lanes provided by the chipset, the availability of the SATA connectors may be affected by the type of device installed in the M2P32G connector. The M2P32G connector shares bandwidth with SATA 3 port 0. So M2P, is M2P the top one or the bottom one? So we go back to the diagram of the motherboard. Nope, that doesn't tell us which one's which. That doesn't tell us which one's which. Well, the M2P has an additional screw here for 110 millimeter length M.2. So that's the top one. So this top one is P and this one is Q. And it says if I install it, if I install the M2 drive, in the top connector, not only does it put us in the area of heat, it also disables SATA port 0. So I have two reasons right there to move it from this location to this location. This location keeps us away from the heat, and all the SATA ports are available. That's what it says. So M2P is this one up here, M2Q. I don't know why it's not A and B, or I don't know whether it's P and Q, but mind your P's and Q's. I think that's what we should take from this. And there's a diagram that kind of explains, you know, what's going to be available with checks or X's, right? And you'll notice that the M2Q on the bottom, there are no X's. Everything's just got checks. It says everything's okay. So for that, we're going to install right down there. Okay? Okay. Sarai. Holy smokes, that's an old reference, Carey. How old are you? What? Speak up. So let's get the M2 drive out of its package. I got my blade. Get that out of there. I'll set that down right there for now. And there's some documentation in here. And I will set that back over here with the rest of the documentation. And I need a small screwdriver. Something like this might do it. And I'm going to take out this screw. There's a little screw right there. It's already in the 8-0 position, which is exactly where I want it to be. Always use a magnetized screwdriver. See how that's holding? It's not quite strong enough. So I can make this a little bit stronger by using this demagnetizer and magnetizer screwdriver tool. That's linked to this in my Amazon shop. Holding it a lot better now. Just like that. Nice little tool to have. Klein Tools even makes one I like a little bit better because you can, it's just a much stronger rare earth magnet. And it's a little bit more money, but it comes with a little keychain thing. I'm not sure how good it is to keep a rare earth magnet next to your parts, next to your human parts. But, you know, same deal. And it's a much stronger magnet. And as a result, you get a much stronger charge on the driver. And that will, try to figure out where it'll focus. That will start the magnetism will sort of wear down over time, and so you'll just need to use this as needed. That one's made by Klein Tools, and again, this is also in the Amazon shop with the link below the video. Okay, so we're going to take our 512 gig boot drive here, where it's going to become our boot drive. It's going to seat into this socket. It goes in sort of on an angle like this, and then you push it straight in. And you'll see it's got a little bounce to it, a little springiness. And that's what this screw does. It's all it does. So you don't have to tighten it real tight. It's just going to hold it down and keep it from moving or dislodging, because you don't want a bad connection when you're moving data that you've spent hours creating and find out it's corrupted. So that installs our boot drive. No cables or wires. I love that. Absolutely love that. Next, we can put the CPU in, which is going to go under here. And for that, I need the CPU. So the CPU runs about, I think this is $370, somewhere in there. Notice the side of the box I'm cutting. I'm cutting the side with the tape. I'm not cutting the side with all of the product information, because if there's a warranty issue, that's what you want, and that's a lot more to cut through. So I don't cut that side, I cut that side. A lot easier. So we'll just open that up, and I think, is that landscapers I hear? They were not here yesterday like they were supposed to be. Nope. Good. So we're not going to be interrupted. Just wanted to check. So let's get the CPU out of the box. These CPUs, these K, if you see it's got the K designation, that means it's 10% faster than the non-K version. It also means it's unlocked, and it also means it does not come with a cooler. That's why we're providing our own cooler. Although with any i7, I wouldn't even use a stock fan on an i7 anyway. Documentation will go with the rest of the documentation. And you'll notice on the documentation, it's got a little Go Faster sticker here on the back of it. If it'll focus, there it is. So the CPU is in the box like this, and we'll just pull that tab and pull this tab, and then the whole thing just opens up like that, and everything else is trash, and that's your CPU right there. Next, we can open up this. Let me move that. We can open up the retention lever here on the CPU cover, and this little cover is going to pop off all by itself. Let me see if I can zoom you in a little bit more and give you a closer look at this process. So what I'm going to do is push down and away, and then I'm going to lift that up, and I'll just pull it back. And that exposes these very delicate pins. Do not touch these. Keep anything away from these. 1,151 little teeny tiny pins, and that's why it's covered. It's very easily damaged. We're going to take the CPU out of its container. Now this container has a little corner cut out of it right here, so you get a thumb underneath that. It'll pop open, and we'll take this out. You notice how I'm holding it. You can hold it this way, or you can hold it that way, but do not hold it from top to bottom. Hold it by its edges. I want all the writing facing the same direction. So where it says memory ready, I want the text on the CPU, at least on an Intel, it's going to face that same way into the socket. And the way it sits in the socket is very gentle. You'll also see on the corner of the CPU, there's a little gold triangle right where my finger is right there. You see that little gold triangle? And right down here on the board, there's a little white triangle right where my finger is. So you're going to line those triangles up, and I usually will tilt the CPU and feel for the edge of the socket, and then gently lower it down. Now it does move a little bit, so you can grab just the edge of that heat spreader and wiggle it about. And it's not wiggling. That means it's in there straight, but it's not pushing down on those pins yet. That's what this lever does, or this lid. When I close this lid down, it's going to apply a lot of pressure down and force that CPU down onto the pins below it. And that amount of pressure is dictated by the engineers. It has to be precise. But that's all handled for you. All you have to do, put one hand on the board to keep it from moving. Now this lever is going to have some resistance. You're going to push down on this lever, and that little plastic lid's going to pop up all on its own. Watch. Ta-da! That's our CPU installed just that easily. So our storage is installed, CPU is installed. Always hold on to this little plastic cover, because if you ever have to send the motherboard back to the manufacturer for repair, they don't want you shipping it with your $400 CPU in there, or even if it's a $40 CPU. Take the CPU out, cover those pins up so they won't be damaged. If you do not cover those pins up, the manufacturer absolutely will not, under any circumstances, honor your warranty. Just so you know. Michael Lee has hidden somebody. You guys are not allowed to hide people. And it looks like Michael Lee is getting a little abusive with his power. So Michael, I am about to remove your moderator status. That is not what I want my moderators to do. And you'll notice nobody else was doing it. Michael, you're the only one doing it. So I'm going to give you one warning, and then I'm going to remove your moderator status. This is not what we do here. If Heavy Sonic Jeffrey had said something, then just ask him kindly not to do that. And if he does it again, you can put him in a timeout. And if he does it again, please bring it to my attention and allow me to decide who gets hidden. Unless somebody is verbally abusive, where it's just flagrantly vulgar, I don't want anybody but me doing the banning. Okay, guys? But, if it's really obvious, Heavy Sonic Jeffrey's been in this chat room a long time, and he should know the rules by now. He should. But, please, if you don't want to get yourself in trouble as a moderator. So now Michael Mancini did it. Okay, Michael, I am going to start removing moderator status. Michael Mancini, you've overstepped. You have overstepped your authority. I'm really starting to get upset. You guys in blue are supposed to be on my side. Jesse had unhidden Heavy Sonic Jeffrey, and then Michael Mancini turned around and hit him again. Heavy Sonic Jeffrey, why did you hide me? That was rude. That's it, Michael. I'm removing you as a moderator. This is not happening here. We are supportive and kind to one another. If you have a negative thing to say about somebody, don't say it in my chat room. You guys can take that up personally somewhere else or ignore each other. Heavy Sonic Jeffrey does not have the power to hide you from anybody but himself, and is not retaliation. That is not acceptable. We do not retaliate here. You see, this is the problem with going live. If I was filming this on my own and releasing it as a finished video, I wouldn't be dealing with this ridiculous nonsense. Nobody is to hide. None of my people in blue are to hide users unless they are being intentionally vulgar. This is a supportive community. Heavy Sonic Jeffrey knows the rules. And if there's a problem, beyond putting him in a timeout, then you bring it to my attention. If you think he should be banned, you let that be my decision. And if you don't do that, then you aren't moderator level ready yet. And if I remove okay, I'm not sure what's going on here with my mods, but I'm really starting to get upset. I am really starting to get upset. So William Lin just crossed a line with me right now. So William, I'm going to remove your moderator status right now. I cannot have my moderators damaging my channel. You are to lead by example. Whoops. Didn't mean to hide that comment. Nope, William Lin, that is not a reason to put somebody in a timeout. That is it. I can't have you be a moderator if you think that what you just did was justifiable. Absolutely not justifiable. That is not what we do here. I have to remove your moderator status. And I will continue to remove moderators who continue to be abusive or to enforce imaginary rules. It's really easy to be blue. All you have to do is nothing. If you feel like somebody has done something that is, oh, well, you're off topic. No. You can't ban somebody because they're off topic. They're asking a question about something you don't like. Ignore it. It's none of your business. I trust you. If I put your name in blue, that means I trusted you. And if I take away your blue, that means you just betrayed my trust. Now, you can earn it back. You can earn it back. It's not forever. But I'm not tolerating that. You are costing me viewers. You are hurting my channel. Let somebody else do it. Why would you risk your reputation on my channel? And Richard, I'm sorry that you were timed out. I don't see any way to undo that, but it'll come out in 10 minutes, and I apologize on behalf of my mod. You should not have been timed out. Thomas wants me to remove all moderator status from everyone. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm not going to remove moderator status from 60 or 70 people because of the actions of one or two. That is not the way I work. That is not a world I want to live in. I'm tired of living in a world where the actions of one person affect everybody. That is not fair. Those moderators do a great job and they help me a lot. There's no way I'm punishing all the mods for the actions of 2 or 3. You've got to be out of your mind. Okay, can we get back to the building? All right, so here we've got the CPU installed, and I can either do the cooling fan, we can do the cooler next if we want to, or, where's the cooler? I can install the RAM. I think let's do the cooler. Cooler's really easy to install. I'm gonna have to back the camera away a little bit because we're a little too close. So let's get that backed up a bit. There we go. And I love the Mugen 5. I think that this is the best cooler you can buy for the money. I don't believe there's a better cooler for this price. And I think even at this price, it's better than 95% of the air coolers out there at any price. That's a pretty bold statement. They just did everything right with this cooler. They did everything right. Well, nearly everything, but it's close enough. It's close enough. So inside the box, we've got another box. And inside of this box, it's got all the mounting tools and brackets we need, including this wonderful magnetized screwdriver right here. You can build your whole computer with that. So if you buy this cooler and you're going to build your own machine, open the cooler first just to get the screwdriver out. I'm telling you. And we've got some more parts here. And we've got our documentation, and the rest of that box is empty. So there's our documentation. Now, this cooler works on a lot of different sockets. On this side, you'll see this is the LGA socket 2011 and 2011 V3 and socket 2066. This side is LGA socket 775, 1150, 1151, 1155, 1156. That's why there's an X there, all the 115s. And then 1366. And then on the AMD side, as if that wasn't enough, flip over here, and there's all your AMD compatible sockets, AM2, AM2 Plus, AM3, AM3 Plus, AM4, FM1, FM2, FM2 Plus. So you're going to be pretty hard pressed to find a CPU that this won't cool. I guess a Threadripper, that's not going to fit on a TR4 socket. But other than that, it's pretty well covered on modern processors. And then here are the bag's parts. So this is the back plate, which is steel. And you'll see there's rubber pads on one side. That's the part that'll go back against the motherboard because we don't want metal touching the board directly. So that's why there's rubber pads. We've got some wire brackets for hanging two fans, but this comes with one fan with the option of buying a second fan. We're not going to do that because one is enough. So we only need two of those. I'll put these two over here. I'll put the bracket over here. They give us thermal compound. We're going to need that. This is all for adding another fan, so we're not going to need that. And then finally, we've got these two straight brackets that we're going to need. These two bent brackets, these are for AMD systems, so we don't use those on this build. And in this last bag, there are some standoffs and screws. And there are tall standoffs and short standoffs. So this is the tall standoff. This is the short standoff right next to, if I can, see if I can show you that. The short ones are used on the socket 2011. So we're going to grab 4. And there is only 4 of these bigger standoffs. And we'll set those over there. And there are 4 regular screws here, and that's for attaching the bracket to the standoffs that we just pulled out. So we need those. And then all we're left with now are these 4 short standoffs, and those are going to go right back in the bag because that's for a system that uses a different processor. So we're not going to need those. You see that is a magnetized driver. Does the CPU fan push or pull? Well, on a tower air cooler, ideally it's in a push situation. It'll push it through the radiator, through this way. And if it was a traditional Intel fan, it pushes air down over the top. and you can feel the air getting air, you know, on a traditional stock heatsink fan. It's always a push configuration. I haven't really seen much cooling difference between push and pull, but I do find that the push is a little bit cooler, just a tiny bit. What's up, Jimmy? What's going on, boy? Okay. Okay, I've got another package here. So I'm going to grab that in just a moment. Many questions involving the cost of these parts or what these parts are already answered in the video notes. For the love of God, I don't know how many times I have to say it. Please read the video notes. You'll find many of your questions are already answered there. All right, I gotta see what just arrived. That's a good boy, Jimmy. You're a good boy. Yes, you're a good boy. It's my buddy. You're my buddy. Oh, that's funny. Oh, what is this? All right, I see what you did. That's funny. All right, I gotta address some mail. We're gonna take a little break from this right now to do something completely different. Back this up and we'll move this. Let's put it right about there. All right, this is what just arrived. Dear Carey, this is for you. Hold on a minute. What are these? What's he sending me? Okay, that's weird. This is for you. I've only given out 10 of these. They're not cheap. They go to people that are special. I don't see anything in here. It just looks like a clear piece of plastic. It's supposed to be a challenge coin. In the military, they use something called challenge coins, but it must have fallen out of the package. I don't see it. That's not good. Ah, here it is. So this is from Jack Wilson in the chat room. This is a military challenge coin. And they're not often, you're sort of, it's typically, if you're in the military, this is a highly cherished and earned reward or token. And I am certainly not deserving of this. I certainly did not earn this, but I will cherish it. And I understand its value and I appreciate it very much. John continues to show Just amazing generosity, and I thank you very much, John. Or Jack. I guess you call him Jack. What I do with the holder? Oh, it's down here. So that's supposed to go in here. Okay. Let me show you what John sent me, because it's kind of funny. All right, give me a minute. This requires a little prep. Oh my gosh. I think this is a dress. Maybe that's all it's going to do. All right. All right. The doctor is in. John says, the reason I'm sending you the stethoscope is it works wonders for not only fans, but to listen to the hard drive as well as track down where the problem is. And these should go hand in hand with your forceps. That's great. And here's a little story about the challenge coins. Today, the popularity of the challenge coin has evolved into more than just a mark of representation for military personnel. They are actively traded among active duty, retired, and civilian personnel within government agencies and political offices. The coin has also become customary to present to dignitaries and special guests to certain locations as a sign of welcome and respect. Presidents William Clinton, George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump have all minted challenge coins to present to White House guests and diplomats of foreign countries. The tradition has expanded to other countries as well to include Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia. Most recently, President Trump released a challenge coin ahead of the North Korean and United States nuclear summit in Singapore in 2018. Over the years, military coins have evolved from seemingly simple designs to more complex and colorful varieties. This can mainly be attributed to the advances in manufacturing techniques that have been perfected over the years. One of the earliest challenge coins known to exist was a simple die-struck brass coin with a faint emblem and barely discernible text. Modern coins are manufactured in a fashion that allows each to display a three-dimensional image that rival the detail found on actual currency. Virtually every element of a custom coin can now be tailored to suit the individual preferences. Some of the more popular features of challenge coins made in the last 10 years include numbering, specialty edging, and photographic inserts, which allow an actual picture to be affixed to one or both sides of the coin. Throughout the career of an armed services member, he or she will have the potential to encounter and receive a substantial number of challenge coins. For example, the United States Air Force holds a coin ceremony for its cadets upon graduation, and for many airmen, this is the first of many they will hold during their service term. Major news agencies have recently covered the presentation of challenge coins by high-ranking officials to war heroes upon their return from duty in Iraq and Afghanistan. Such media awareness has helped to create an increasing popularity of these coins in venues beyond the military as well. Law enforcement and firefighter organizations have followed suit by distributing challenge coins to their staff for recognition and achievement purposes. Many have recognized that a small, personalized token can build unity among a team, which also promotes morale along the way. Yes, and that's what a challenge coin is, and that's the challenge coin the doctor is in. Now, to me, I always said I never want to wear a white lab coat to work on a computer because it's so simple. It'd be like wearing a white lab coat to put Legos together. And it comes off as a bit pompous, like I have some extreme and expensive education that one would assume wearing a white lab coat. But what I would like is to just have blood all over it and walk around the grocery store and let customers ask me questions. Do you know what aisle and I'm just gonna be like, no, I'm sorry, I don't work here. I just think that would be funny. All right, so take that, Ken Jung. It even has my name on it. It's even got I even have a badge, Dr. Carey Holzman, Doctor of Computer Science. Well, that's a lie and an exaggeration, but it's a nice thought. Be the dumbest doctor you've ever met in your life. That's all I need. Is there a doctor in the house? Yeah, get the guy with the white lab coat. No, I'm not that kind of doctor. All right, that's great. Thank you, Jack. Is Jack in the chat? I'm just scrolling up to see if I saw Jack in there. Frederick Lidholm's contributed at 100 Swedish kroner. Thank you, Frederick. And this is the amazing community I'm talking about, you know? Guys like Jack, and more than I can name, which is wonderful. And I can't wait to see it just continue to grow and grow and change the attitude that is all too common on the internet of despise and demonizing. And we'll be supportive and kind to one another. It doesn't mean you have to give people stuff. It just means be nice. It's really easy. It's so easy to be nice. And it feels a lot better. So anyway, all right, well, that's cute. But yeah, you know, I might just be able to use this stethoscope for listening to stuff. Let me see. Ooh, whoa, that's a trip. Okay, don't adjust it when you're wearing it. That's painful. It works. I can tell you that does, in fact, it does work. All right. No, you do not need a white lab coat to work on a computer. But thank you. It's funny. And the challenge coin, that's an honor. That's a real honor. I want to put this away right now. I have a special place for special things. See, if I put it away now, I don't have to worry about forgetting later. Well, that was a nice surprise. It was a lot lighter than the box I got from John. I can tell you that. You could troubleshoot your Subaru with that stethoscope. Yeah, I bet you could listen in on the cylinders with it. Okay, so I was getting the Mugen, or the Mugen, out of its box here. So one of the things I like what they do is this bottom bracket is already attached. On most third-party coolers, you have to attach this, and this can be a very difficult part of the installation, like on a Hyper 212 Evo from Cooler Master, which is a great cooler for 30 bucks. This is a better cooler. It's got a bigger radiator. It cools more effectively, and the installation process is so much easier. That in and of itself is worth the extra money. Plus the included screwdriver there, which I've got right here, which is a critical tool necessary to ease the installation of this cooler. Well, let me show you just how easy it is. Because talk is cheap. First thing I need to do is grab these 4 standoffs. I need to find a place to stand where you can see me. Now, on the back of this motherboard, you notice I'm always holding the board by the edges. It's such a habit of mine. And even if you look at the other side, I'm holding it by the plastic I/O shroud. So I don't have to worry about any electrostatic discharge, and therefore I don't have to worry about wearing a silly ESD strap. But don't let me stop you from wearing it. If you want to wear one, it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me one bit. But if you handle the parts the way I handle them, you don't have to wear one if you don't want to. So you notice there's 2 mounting points right up here and only 1 down here on the socket. And there's 2 holes in this bracket. And with those foam pads going up against the back of the board, we're going to set that down. And then I have to figure out how to hold that in position. So again, look at where my thumb is. Look at how I'm holding that in place. And the documentation specifies that we want to use, because each end has 3 holes. And these little standoffs, they need to go through the middle hole on this particular socket. This is socket 1151. And so it's a little bit of a challenge. This is just the hardest part. We're going to get one started here. Let me just look through. Yep, it's already lining up with that middle hole. And then I'm going to go do the same thing to the opposite corner. Once again, I'm going to bring that in right through there. And now it's perfectly aligned, so you can see I've put these 2 standoffs in, one here, one down here, and that holds it for me. Now that should automatically line up with the right hole. And I can put that one on, and then I can put the 4th one on. That right there is a lot easier than, for example, the Hyper 212 Evo. Not that I'm picking on it. That's a good cooler as well. This is just better in a lot of different ways. Now, using the included screwdriver, I just want to torque these down. And you want to do opposite corners so that you have a nice level, flush back plate connection, so you don't have any warpage going on. You don't want one side tighter than the other side. Then we take these brackets that look like this. Let me point you back down at what we're doing here. Let's bring this back down. See if we can zoom in a little bit more. And these brackets are going to go this way, not like that. That's no. The same direction as that release lever. And with this indentation going towards the CPU, that's going to sit right there. And again, using the included screwdriver, it goes on the inside of that hole. Just give that a few turns, and then we'll do the other side. Just like, look at how much that screwdriver just bites right in there. Once again, make sure that the bracket's not being put on upside down. There's a bump that goes up. If the bump goes down, you've got it upside down. And put it exactly the opposite. And we'll do the same thing here. Perfect. Now it's time for our thermal compound, and you know what that means. I've got to get a rubber glove because I put my thermal compound a bit differently than others will show you. But the reason for that is I have to support what I sell. You know, I'm not building this for me, I'm building this for a customer. And I can't take advice from people on the internet to tell me how to build a machine that I'm held responsible for. I have to use my own personal experience from doing this professionally, being paid to do this. My first computer job was in 1991, and I've been doing it pretty much every day with few exceptions since 1991. Before 1991, it was a hobby. It was something I did for fun. But it's not so much fun anymore if somebody like this gentleman who's using it for stock trading is unable to trade stocks and he's losing money because of what I built for him. And I can't say, well, the problem was there was too much or too little thermal compound, and the reason I did it was because that's how I saw some guy who doesn't even use his real name on a YouTube channel told me, or some stranger in a chat room on Reddit or whatever. A chat room on Reddit? You know what I mean. And again, I like to just kind of make it a little tacky. I put a little too much on there, it sort of poured out. But I will just, by using different fingers, I'm pulling up more of the thermal compound in order to reduce the amount that's on there. And then by causing it to raise up like that, that'll get reduce any sort of concern of air bubbles or other silliness. These people on the internet have a wild imagination. And I found that to be true of most people who lack education. They don't understand how it works, and so they use their imagination. And then they turn around and start telling other people as though it were fact, when in fact, it's something they just made up. Somebody with an electrical engineering degree, or somebody who, can prove to you what they're saying comes from a place of professional experience and not hobbyist experience, is somebody that I would certainly consider what they have to say. I wouldn't necessarily believe them until I have my own personal experience. However, it's your computer and you do with it what you want. I want to emphasize, I have to support this. I have to have a customer be happy and hopefully recommend me and come back and want to buy another one, you know? So I don't want there to be any problems, because not only does it cost me money in warranty repair, but it can cost me money in a customer who says, I'm never going to buy another computer from that guy. But what you do to yourself, well, that's not my problem. We've got a little piece of tape here on the bottom, and that keeps this area from any contamination, because this is going to mate with that compound we just put on. You do not put the compound on here. You put the compound on there only, just like I've shown you. Now we're ready to peel that tape off. And this fan, you notice how one side sticks out further. It's not completely straight. It's all, you see these pipes are all bent. This is the side the fan's going to go on. See how there's room for the fan to go right there? And that's the side that goes towards the RAM. And we're just going to set that right on top. With that set on top, we can take the enclosed screwdriver and give the first screw a couple of turns. And then we're going to go in through this top hole, and that's going to lead us to the second screw. And I'm going to try and tighten them down evenly. I've already turned that one quite a few times. Now I'll turn this one quite a few times. Then I'm going to come back over here and turn this one a few more times. Back over here, we'll turn this one a few more times. Now these will come to a dead stop on the Mugen cooler, which I love, so you don't have to worry about a lot of these coolers. You can just keep tightening the screws until you break the heads off or crush the motherboard. The Mugen design doesn't permit that as a possibility. That screw is at a dead stop, and I just want to double check this one that it hasn't changed. Sometimes when you tighten one side, the other side loosens. Now that we've done that, I can put the fan on. So here I've got the cooling fan. Now this side of the fan that doesn't have any, what you see the side where the logo spins, this is the side that's drawing air in. And the side that has these support brackets where the motor is, and you'll notice that label doesn't spin when the fan spins, this is the side the air comes out of. So the air is going to move that way. And so for that reason, we would want to mount this in that direction, like that. And it's going to suck air in, push it through this radiator. It's going to come out that way, and there's going to be a rear case fan also pushing air in the same direction out the back of the case. All their airflow, we want to move it all the same direction, or it's going to have the opposite effect that you intend. So to hook this up, let me get the wire tie off of this wire, and let me grab those wire hangers, which I just had here. I put them over here. Now these wire hangers, they go on real easy. And what we're going to do is put one right here like this. And we'll put the other one over here. Just like that. So that's our wire hangers. Now I want this cable coming out down at the bottom, closest to where it's going to plug in to keep our cable management looking clean. It's going to plug in right back there where it says CPU fan. It's a slightly different color of a connector on this board. And there's little grooves cut out into the top. And so what you can do is line it up into these grooves. Just like that. We can grab that wire hanger, pull it back, and lock it in. Bring this around. We're going to do the same thing right here to the other side. Whoops. Again, make sure it's seated in the little groove up here. I'm going to grab that, pull it, and lock it in. Finally, this cable is going to plug in where it says CPU fan, right down here on the board. It only goes in one direction. And then we can get a nylon zip tie and we can tie this spare cable up right now, because it's a lot easier to do that now than after the board has been mounted into the case. That's all there is to installing that Mugen or Mugen cooler. It's that simple. So let me grab one of these nylon zip ties here and let's get that cable cleaned up right now. Let's see. See how I stack the cable on itself like that and then tighten it down? It's just a cleaner look. Then I'll grab my wire cutters and we'll cut that little pigtail off of there. Just like that. And then we can plug this right back where it was. If it'll focus, there it is. We're just going to go right there. That's it. Now we can install the RAM. Again, the RAM can either go into the two black sockets or into the two gray sockets. Really doesn't matter which is which. I figure I'll use the, I'm going to use the gray sockets to get it away from the CPU. I want it away from that heat. So I've opened those retention levers. And then right here is our RAM. Let me get that opened up. As you can see, everything in this build is new. So if you, like some people want to know about DOA parts, how often I see them. That's the benefit of doing this live. If there's any DOA parts, you guys will see it. There's no editing here. So we'll just pull that open. This is the RAM, the Corsair Vengeance RAM. If I can get it out of the box. There we go. Now, with the RAM, you always want to bend the package to get the RAM out. Don't bend the RAM. So with the Corsair RAM, it's actually in there pretty loose. I've seen others where you really have to work at it. There is a piece of plastic covering the company logo. You don't have to remove it, but it bugs me and I want it removed. You see that? This only goes in one direction. It either has to go in this way, but you can see that slot does not line up with that notch, so turn it around. We're going to line it up into that track on both sides. Keep it straight. It should sit in there pretty easily. Then using your thumbs, push down one corner, then the other corner. And you'll see those retention levers close. Finally, we'll get the last RAM module out. Same deal. There's a piece of plastic covering the logo. Just find a corner, peel that back. See what I'm talking about? Rotate it the same orientation. I know that the barcode is the right direction. Go to the, you're going to skip a slot. And in this case, these slots are colored, but if your motherboard has more than 2 slots and you're not sure which 2 to use one and skip one. That's it. We've prepped the motherboard. That's all there is to it. That's our CPU, our cooler, our cooling fan, our RAM, and our storage are already installed. And now it's just a matter of mounting the motherboard into the case, hooking up power, and we can test fire it. So hold on to your butts because I'm about to move this camera. And I hope I don't hit the lamp this time. Okay, here we go. Here we go, guys. Going for a little ride. That's pretty good. We can zoom in a little bit. There we go. Does anybody have any questions for me at this point? Any questions? I'd be happy to address any technical questions that you may have from this point. As I pick up the trash off the floor. You see, Irving's joining us in the chat room. Irving watching us in France. What are the CPU opt pins on the motherboard for? Well, where would I plug in a second fan? Remember I said that heatsink comes with 4 wire hangers, 2 for one fan and 2 for another fan. So assuming I plugged another fan into it, where would that fan plug in for power? That's what the CPU opt is for. When does a PC need to be liquid cooled? No PC needs to be liquid cooled. Only people who are pushing a computer beyond its design, its engineering design specifications would have to increase the cooling, probably have to increase the power, and they also increase the likelihood of reliability issues and killing the product, wearing it out sooner. So those people, basically, if you have to ask, it's not for you. It's for extremists. It's not for regular computer users. No corporation runs computers with liquid cooling that I'm aware of. You would not do any desktop support at any company where you would ever install or repair or upgrade a liquid cooler. That's just something hobbyists do. What's really annoying to me is sometimes we get people in the chat room and they have not been watching the video. They just pop in here and they start making assumptions because they can't be bothered to watch what was already done. And those of you who've been watching saw me open the motherboard manual where it specified that we could use either of the two sockets of RAM. But you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is a problem on the internet. People really need to learn how to ask more questions before making assumptions and trying to publicly humiliate somebody, because it just makes you look like a complete jerk. And I don't need those kind of people here. They're welcome to leave. They're not helpful. They're stirring a pot based on their ignorance that they assumed without going back and watching. And it's really, really frustrating to me that people think I'm supposed to take time to repeat things I've already done when they couldn't be bothered to watch it the first time. So I've just hit somebody for that. And what's really fascinating to me are the people who do this have no videos of their own. If you know so much, let me see your videos. It's really that simple. I offer these videos for free. If you don't like it, you can leave. It's really simple. If you think I'm an idiot, I don't care. I didn't wake up this morning going, gee, I wonder what Fly Guy 23 thinks. I don't know what's going through the minds of these people. All right. So any other technical questions I can answer for you, be happy to. Yes, the DVR function on this live video is enabled, and you can rewind this video at any time, just like you can any other video. There's no excuse if you're just joining us to speak up about something that you didn't see. You are the only one who can control what you see. I can't control what you see. So if you can't take the time to go back and watch it, then I can't take the time to be bothered to hear what you have to say about it. Seems pretty logical to me. Aaron, thank you for your kind words. That's what we need more of. We need more kindness. And if you can't be kind, just don't say anything. It's really easy. It's called impulse control. All right, I'm going to take a short break, and I'm going to come right back. So we're going to go to a little intermission here. So I'll be back. Stand by. All right, guys, I apologize for the delay. I have something happening I have to address, unfortunately. So I think I'm just gonna leave everything like it is right here. I'm not gonna touch or move anything. And I think I'm gonna handle this issue I've got, and then I'm gonna go grab a bite for lunch, and then I'm gonna come back. It's a little after noon right now, my time. So figure I should be back between 1 and 1:30. You should get the notification, or just come back in about an hour, 90 minutes or so I can handle this. I wasn't expecting this to happen. And I apologize. I wish I would have known that before I stepped away, because I could have just done that initially. And it looks like a big contribution came in here from somebody. Where is it? Where is it? Franklin Lundholm. Oh, Frederick Lundholm has contributed 200 Swedish kroner, which is, what is that to US dollars? That is about $21.50. That's great. Well, thank you so much, Frederick, for your continued support. I appreciate that very much. And yeah, I think we all just need to get a bite. Well, you guys can eat when you're watching, but I can't. I'm not going to eat in front of you. So let me do that. And again, I gotta handle something that just occurred. So I'll talk to you guys very soon. Watch for the stream here in about an hour and a half. Thanks. I'll see you very soon.